Hey, so well, we, and by we I mean I'm going now to chapter 6, cool, the gates of paradise. And I think I should, oh, the gates of hell, gates of paradise, I never made the connection before. No, I'm not trying, I never heard these things, and I always go like, with whatever happens to pop in my head, and this just popped in my head. How can I be so freaking blind to some of the most obvious things that happens in the game? Ooh. And this is for... I think it's still that. That is a weapon that, well, is pertaining to this achievement I have here. Not yet obtained. Not Angel Heims. You might see that I have 46 out of 50. This one is by completing the most hardest of hard difficulties in all chapters. This one is by 20 concoctions. I need to do more cooking. Defeat enemies well in rage. I can't do that. Well, when I get another 100 freaking rings. Hellos. And the Ice Witch. I have to 20 enemies. I think you can figure out whatever that means. You know, Ice Witch and all. That freaking bird, it always escapes. Evades me. But no anymore. Oh yeah, wait, clarification. I was talking good things about a show called Castlevania. You know, based on the famous video game Castlevania. Featuring Castlevania now. The Belmonts. Basically, entire generation of vampire hunters. They have like, you know, the powers of God and anime. The thing is that I said that is mostly used for, you know, adults because it's for the gore stuff. And maybe kids will try to watch it, but no, stay away. It's good, it's really fun. But it has some stuff that I think you need some, you know, time and maturity to process. And, you know, you have to have the talk about the flower and the bee. Yeah. So, stay away until you are enough age. And I think I want to discuss the thing a little more. Anyway. Entering Bigrid. The ancient city of Bigrid is largely inaccessible, surrounded by mountains on one side and the sea to the other. While at first glance this may seem incredibly inconvenient, it's said that Bigrid flourished primarily due to the presence of a strong spirit energy within the land underfoot. The Umbra Witches and Lumen Sages, each with respective control over dark and light, must have needed land replete with this spirit energy to enable them to receive history. Again, history. There are more than overseen. I think he doesn't mean like overseen history like the Watchers from, you know, the... Okay, I cannot remember if it's the sea or Marvel. You know, the blue guys that are like very small on stature and they are like watching. Like literally they're called watchers because they watch stuff and they're like, yeah, it's interesting. Oh, that's horrible, we cannot intervene. Yeah, but in this case they are overseeing history as to make stuff safe, maybe? The waves of time have modernized Bigrid, spurring rapid development. However, its residents still avoid outside contact, preferring to maintain their own cultural and religious outlook. Their only link with the outside world is a single long-distance rail line. Simply riding this train requires an application to be submitted to Bigrid. Oh my god. What kind of Chinese government shit is this? And rigorous background check is required prior to a rigorous background check is required prior to the issuance of an entrance visa. Giving an entrance visa, which must be carried at all times. Which is called a visa. And why is my Why is my credit card? Also with this Visa thing, I never. Well, I barely use credit cards because I don't want to have the debt. I prefer to pay everything like right away. Our society is way too dependent on people having debt, so they can leech out of people with debt, and then have them just feeling bad and stuff, and then take the possession away and stuff. It's a horrible society. We need to be better. But yeah, what is this Visa? Like, is it just some name for outdoor stuff, and it just somehow overlaps with the Visa of having entrance to some place? Am I overthinking this again? Probably. Once disembarking from the train, there is further police search, but after which one is granted admission to the city. It seems that what allows Big Red ability to be so strict regarding immigration is the seemingly close link between the Big Ingredient authorities and the Itapol group. Itapol, a conglomerate based in Big Red. Yet, proving this link will require further investigation. Huh. So this place has their Stark Industries. One thing, when you hit a projectile launched by an enemy, in which time it will be reflected back to them. Look, see? When it becomes purple, it's because it's going back to them. Which is funny because usually purple is the color of the enemy, but in this game, you know, we are the enemy in a way. Ah, come on, I totally... You know what? Fuck these guys. Yeah, fuck them. So I got very damaged in this fight, which is bad, but I need to be better and I will, which is good, because I am always improving, and I need to improve if I want to see the true end game of this game, which is a chapter called the Last Chapter, and it's basically an endurance test that becomes harder and harder the longer you stay in there. But it plays with a new character, which I may not be able to see ever in my life. Isn't that a nice thought? Okay, what was I talking before? I forgot. Oh, I thought I was going to destroy that thing somehow. Guess not. Let me search my mind again. I was talking about Castlevania. Oh, right, Castlevania, very good show again. Okay, this has nothing to do with Castlevania. I'm not obsessed with the show. It's not like I'm wearing this thing up because of that show. It's just because it looks good on me. Don't deny it. I know, I'm not gonna be like... I'm gonna be like, oh, I have found. Oh, look at the fence. That's one topic I was talking. Alright, it's very mature. It's very freaking mature. Right? It's very good because it has a lot of themes that basically makes you think about. Well, you usually are like, huh. Oh, I don't remember the cutscene. It has themes about a lot of stuff that people may think quite often in their lives. Stuff that are, you know, not nice thoughts in our heads. Stuff that makes us think that human is doomed and we are horrible, but you know, there are all facets to this world. And the characters are always evolving. It's not like they just, you know, introduced and then just die as they are introduced. No, they have like contradictions and stuff that makes challenges their philosophy, and that's a very cool thing to see, because usually when you are in this kind of scenarios and series, it's always just I thought I could reach there. I am sure I can. I mean, probably not with this form, and yeah, I totally need the crow form, which is very expensive by the way, from what I remember. And it's the Rodan shop in the part of techniques. It's not very useful for me usually, but I am sure there must be some kind of way that I am ignoring to use the form in combat. Because, well, it's very useful for exploration in this game. There's a lot of stuff that you might not think that is going to be restricted. Oh no, 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 you are not doing this, baby. I kinda got better at matching. Just a little bit. And yeah, my recommendation comes mostly from the fact that the characters do grow and they feel alive. They feel like, you know, there could be people that think these things in real life. It's always feeling satisfying to kill these things with a, you know, climax. But like I said, there's a lot of horrible stuff, so yeah, unless you want to feel a little jagged after seeing the series, dug a little bit. I know use that. Yeah, I was talking about that. Do you feel it's a little fucked up how we are? Like, we are a species that is mostly angry and scared about the stuff, and that's what's motivating us to forbid or hurt other people. Well, I never hurt other people unless I'm being threatened by violence, but case in point, through history, most of the stuff that has been forbidden or, you know, just out of reach, it's because someone just is scared by not understanding how stuff works because it doesn't align with their worldview. Yeah, it's getting that in that territory. But think about a lot of stuff, other religions, other kind of people, a lot of stuff in history, just us being scared and then forgiving stuff because we don't understand it. And yet, with video games, well, yeah, I'm going back to video games. I was saying video games as a very cool medium about, you know, getting in touch with the stuff we actually will never be in touch, and where to tell narratives in a way that we actually never interact. They allow us to have a part in a movie, in a story, in a series, you know, feel like we are doing something inside the stories and learning and being more engaged with the story and world. But people dismiss it because usually it's just, you know, a product made for money and there's not a lot of heart in many of the creations. Mostly the FIFA games. Yeah, I'm gonna shit on the FIFA games forever. What were you thinking? You think that will work on me? Okay, he's dead. Bye. But case in point, I was thinking how we usually were so affected by murder and death in series, but the way it's split and controlled or shown to us, it varies a lot in our response to the act itself. Like for example, in here murder is part of the story and we are being like, oh cool, we are killing the angels and stuff. And we're like, we're not feeling like story and we're not like, oh we killed the angels. But I don't know, if we show the story of one angel being super good and stuff, then we'll care about that. If we give it a name, then we'll just feel for it. And then, lastly, if it's something like, you know, a tragedy where he's trying to defend someone and we just kill him by mistake or something, then we'll make it a tragedy, and that will have a lot more meaning. But we become desensitized to all that murder inside of video games most of the time. Well, unless it's very slow murder, because, well, there is some games that still make you feel a lot of pain when you have to kill someone or just press a button to kill someone. Even though we shouldn't, we still make a lot of connection with characters inside video games, and we understand that they are not real, but we still care of them and just relate to them. Torture attacks, huh? Case in point, torture attacks. Oh, fuck you for using that freaking stupid shit. But yeah, think about it. I think I'm making a lot of sense. Because in some series, when I see people dying by the millions, it's like, oh, they are just dying. There are people that are dying. And it's not like a sad fact, because it's like you expect them to die and stuff. But then we have someone, for example, in a series who we just care a lot about, and see die, and most of the people don't have a reaction. I still do. But what affects me a lot more from NPCs, as I call them inside of series, when they are, you know, they're generic character that is going to die 100 times over. It's the sexy stuff. Yeah, I'm going there. Oh, really? Whatever, I'm going to just destroy them now. Yeah, the sexy stuff. How do we even protest? It's a very hard way to introduce a topic, but okay, let me explain. I was also seeing a series called The Boys, and the part where I was the most, you know, not impressed but disturbed was on one episode where there was a massive party and a lot of people were enjoying themselves. But more than disturbing, it was like uncomfortable. Like when we see that, we're not feeling uncomfortable anymore in video games and stuff. We don't really care about it. We are just, like I said, expecting it. Violence is part of video games a lot, not because it's just it's trying to justify it or anything. It's because, you know, violence is part of video games because we need antagonists and stuff just happens. I'm not trying to say, oh, video games are bad or not anything. I'm just saying it's really fucked up in the way that some stuff just stop making us flinch or think. And in this case, since I usually don't see, I never see stuff like this when I'm introduced to a scenario where there is like, you know, sexy time. For me, it's a lot more disturbing or just uncomfortable. I don't know, I feel like an invader in that space. I feel like it's so weird, so... Oh no, don't you dare try to freaking claw your way through me. But yeah, it just makes me freaking uncomfortable to see stuff like that. I don't really feel uncomfortable seeing that in video game stuff. But, you know, sexy stuff, yeah, it's always uncomfortable. It's always making me feel like, oh yeah, the torture that I have to kill, otherwise it doesn't count. I was gonna say, oh, please tell me there is more, but yeah, I forgot that this one's going to be the freaking dogs. I'm doing good, I am doing good. Yeah, but I think to summarize my point from before, or what I was trying to say, I believe there is like a huge lack of care when you are exposed a lot to some stuff. And that is something I feel like happens a lot in the series, is that a lot of people just, in that series at least, you know, let a bad experience define their life, or even purpose in life. They let themselves be defined by some bad stuff that happened to them once, twice, thrice, twice, and they don't really, what do I say, that they don't think of the experience as something that happens to some people or by some people, but something that is generalized in people, something that is inherent of people. Like saying, you know, if you buy a notebook, you expect it to have pages, right? Yeah, but maybe not the notebooks have pages. Maybe some of them are just the musical notebooks that have pop-ups, and I don't know, maybe there's some kind of detailed notebook. And instead of generalizing something or someone by some bad experience, something, they take to heart that some people is something because I have this experience, therefore everyone is the same. And not just that, I also feel like the series has a lot of, well, it captures something that got my attention, and is that, in my case at least, the lack of exposure to some stuff is what makes us afraid of some stuff. Or maybe that it makes us ignorant to the world at large. In the sense of, well, for example, when I saw dirt and gore in Flash games when I was a kid, I was horrified by it. Flash games, I'm thinking about, you know, a 2D stick figure just being decapitated. I was like, oh my god, this is freaking gory, I'm going to have nightmares about this. But now I can see all this stuff, all this gore, and I'm like, ah, it's happening. But when I see Yuppie Yahoo Wahoo scene, you know, where a man is giving his honey to the woman, I am like, holy shit. And I think a lot of stuff also happened to earlier generations, where they just didn't have exposure to different point of views, or different worldviews, or different people. And they just had like this idea in their heads, and when they saw it for the first time, if they had any negative experience, they just let it define everything. And it's not like that. You should just get experiences and maybe more knowledge, so you can be more educated and not afraid of stuff in life. I'm not trying to say that you should just wahoo all around and stuff, but, you know, have some understanding that it happens. People do it. You shouldn't be afraid of it. You shouldn't be afraid of people doing it, as long as it's consensual with other people and stuff. Why I'm going to this? Alright, because I was saying that some stuff just loses meaning, or or thematics when you're overexposed to it, for good and bad. Sometimes it's good that we lose like the fear of stuff, because for example, if I said to you, you will go to college tomorrow and you are just a toddler, you will be like, oh my god, but I'm a toddler, I'm not prepared for this, what do I do, what's going to be, who's people going to be? You have doubts, you have a lot of things in your head that don't make sense, a lot of the stuff in your head that is making you feel insecure because you don't know how it will be. But once you go there, once you do stuff there, not as a toddler, it was just a stupid example, you become more confident, because you have the knowledge, you have the experience, you have the know-how, you have the resources at least to combat some of the stuff that the head will throw to you and be like, be afraid of this because you don't know. No, I may not know, but I will face it, or I will learn. It's a better posture, because over time, well, you will be afraid if it's obviously totally wrong. For example, I don't know, taking cyanide pills. But at the same time, you won't be terrified without a reason, at least. Most of the time, we are afraid of stuff without a reason because, well, we don't know. It's unknown. And that's what I wanted to say. I will talk more about that after I read the notes as I'm playing the game, because I don't want to just ramble for 20 minutes again without having to do anything. Notes on the topic of magic. See? Another thing that people is misunderstanding and always afraid of. Magic. Well, it doesn't... Magic, I don't think exists in this world, but if it did exist, a lot of people will just be afraid and will just denote a lot of stuff to magic because they don't know where it comes from. Imagine if it comes from God. If there was a god, or there is a god out there, and he was like, oh, I'm gonna give tools to my people to use magic so they can be more prosperous and build stuff with more ease. But then comes someone and it's like, oh, it comes from the devil. And then everyone is just misconcepting it as a devil tool because they don't know any better. Ignorance breeds fear, fear breeds hatred, hatred breeds violence, violence breeds death. Okay, focus. Everyone carries within them a record of their evolution as a being. Since time immemorial, it is inner knowledge that the magical arts call upon when a practitioner uses the transformative technique known as a beast within. What? Again. Everyone carries within them a record of their evolution as a being since time immemorial. It is this inner knowledge that the magical arts call upon when a practitioner uses the transformative technique known as a beast within. You mean that Bayonetta was a crow, a panther, and a butterfly in their previous life? Or evolution? Or more than she was like, you know, recalling her primal ancestor, her Mew, you know, the original of all things, and then she can just go and become another animal. While there is very little documentation regarding this technique, it is comparatively easy to guess at its workings. Yeah, easy. It is even easier when one considers how many works of art depicting this condition fill museums to this very day. The works capture the very moment when a witch transforms himself into an animal. Present-day interpretations never seem to escape the realm of dismissing these works as an artist's daydream. However, when viewed from a different perspective, they are an important reference point in researching the magical arts. These pictures illustrate the unbelievable transformation of a witch by the most special of means. Seeing here take the form of various animals. The witches were able to freely use this technique, transforming into beasts for incredible speed, or birds to send themselves soaring into the sky. Well, one bird, but we can become a lot of butterflies just to scatter around. But I think that's what I wanted to impart to people, that I had been afraid a lot of stuff in my life, and then I have just, you know, have experiences with stuff. For example, going to college. When I was going to college, I was like, oh, well, I had been in school all my life. I don't know anyone there. If I'm already shy and alone in my school, how it's going to be in college? And it ended up being all good because, well, different people, different stuff, and I didn't define myself by my experience from before. I grew and I had a lot more fun and a lot more nice people who really made my life better. And if I had bad experiences, well, instead of being like, oh, everyone is shit and everyone should just, you know, go to hell and I'm gonna just be alone in my life, no, I instead just said too many years, too many awful people that tried to define me in very awful ways, that I wanted to find the correct people because not everyone is guilty of bad experiences that happen to you. There are innocents, there are good people, there is stuff that is better. And sadly, yeah, there is a lot of shit, but even if the world was just one good person and a pile of shit, I think it will be worth to give that one nice person the chance to at least, you know, exist, be happy with themselves, have the opportunity to be themselves or just, you know, not be defined by the shittiness of other people because, well, they matter, they exist. Where did I go with this thing again? Oh, right, because I was talking about sex in media. How did I go from one topic to another like this? Well, am I missing anyone here? Huh? Anyone else want to come out and just try to challenge the freaking Bayonetta? Nah, this is not called Bayonetta. By the way, I did thought too that, well, you can see that there is like stuff down there. I thought that I could just descend and check that. No, you can't. I tried and I died. Even with the crow within, whatever the name is for the crow. Bad poisonous liquid fills the area underneath the destroyed bridge. Trying to jump the gap while remaining in human form seems a bit dangerous. I mean, I can do it probably, but it's much easier this way. So, yeah, you can try, but I don't believe you can go there.
What are you boys doing in here? Are you hiding something from me? Come on.
My grandparents are say football, so if there's any swearing or awfully unchristian things said on this microphone, it's going to be all the fault of people playing with balls and making a big deal about it, as if their life or nationality or worthlessness depended on it. For now.
Cheating on me, haven't you? Someone else caught your eye?
Enjoy the sexy witch beating the shit out of the angels while dirty talking to them. In Link's costume.
Something tells me I'm going to regret this.
My sweet, lovely child. She is the key to your future.
Okay, I get it. Just get out of my head right now. Girls and boys need their alone time every so often. And this is the thing that's confusing me, is that
I'm normally one to play savior, but I suppose I can make an exception and kill all of you. Just this once, of course.
Well, I think I am supposed to look like this because I'm also seeing that in the perspective of the kid. Well, she's in the human world or something, or maybe in purgatory or being protected by some kind of spell. I don't like it matters too much because I barely know whatever that it's supposed to mean. And I'm rambling without having an idea of what I'm saying, so don't pay any attention to me. Oh, I did that by accident. I wanted to, I wanted to dodge, but for some reason my finger went immediately into to attack. Oh, I heard the attack, but I didn't see it. Sometimes when you hear the attack, it's enough to at least try the dodge. Because if the angels is right behind you, well, you're not going to have a nice time by not dodging and hitting the attack. No. No, I lost my damage count. Their multiplier. Easy. I totally need to buy more of the techniques from Roland's shop. Some of them might look very meh, but in the end, everything is complementing the gameplay of this game. Huh? Why
Was I
it's
just singing?
why is it why were she asleep?
Whoa,
Hmm.
whoa, whoa. Slow down, little one. I am not your mother.
But, Mommy,
Will you quit calling me Mummy?
She likes when people say that when there are angels or some kind of hobo world-rally man with a ponytail.
If there's two things I hate in this world, it's cockroaches and crying babies.
Call her only mom.
Any cockroach would be truly terrible. So don't you dare cry.
yes, Mommy.
Fine. You've got to be a strong little one to survive in a place like this. What's your name, anyway?
Teresa.
Cereza?
Cereza means...
Not from Vigrid, are you, little one? Where are you from?
How do you translate this?
From my house.
Well now, I'll hazard a guess this isn't your home. So what on earth are you doing here?
My daddy
Sorry.
told me to come here.
And whereabouts is this daddy of yours?
He was at work, but now I don't know where he's gone. I want to go home.
I can't just drag you along wherever I go, little one. So you'd better not be getting attached to me.
Yes, Mommy?
Didn't you see how she was just flying around and stuff and cakes and
Come
stuff?
now, little one. I'll help you out of here, but that's all.
She's a nice lady, but... Oh, yeah, as because I'm using this outfit, but
And
she's...
you have to promise there'll be no crying. A single tear and you'll be crying alone. Got it?
Yeah, mommy. Well, you cannot see it, but she was pulling one of her, hair strands things. The red ones that flow from her hair, but since I'm using this costume, it doesn't show on the cutscene and it looks a little weird. The only reason I'm showing this costume now is because, well, I didn't play with the costumes and I want to play with the costumes and I want to show the costumes. And they're fun, even though they break a little bit of the immersion of the, witch. The fate of Laguna and development of Vigrid. In recent days, Vigrid has seen the rise of the Eatable Group, a conglomerate whose rapid development has changed the face of the city. Their main island off in the coast of Vigrid, Isla del Sol, is a clear example of their technological style. It is a modern metropolis, home to many residents. However, their flight from the old city has led to the onshore historical district's rapid decline, a process that will likely end in the areas becoming ruin-free of inhabitants. Those who live on Isla Sol and those who have remained in the old city all worship the Laguna, gods who are the heart of their faith. In many ways, like the sun worship. This faith has been the people's core since ancient times and formed the very heart of their cultural development. It is said that the Itable group itself was developed in conjunction with the Laguna, and its CEO is held up as the paragon of the Laguna worship, the living symbol of the people's faith. He is purported to... another fancy word, let's just go with... He is speculated to be descendant from the said to be annihilated Lumen Sages, although I cannot confirm the veracity of this claim. At any rate, the devotion which people hold toward the Evil group is without question. Big Red's appearance is not the only part of this city to have changed completely. The ancient faith in the Laguna is now inexorably linked to the Evil group as it pushes forwards its modernizations. Thus, the city has lost its previous visage, to be replaced at alarming speed, and all with apparent consent of the Laguna worshipping Big Ridians. So we are basically becoming a super futuristic society that worships angels. I like it. Yeah, for some reason, remember what I said before? That you cannot interact between humans and, or creatures that are on the humans cannot interact with angels which are in Purgatorio or maybe they are in Paradiso, but Purgatorio is like a middle ground or something. But you can interact with them through environment, and you can see that Bayonetta is like affecting the environment when she's in Purgatorio, which is shared between Purgatorio and the human world, from what I've seen. Now the interesting part is that angels from Purgatorio appear to still be able to interact with human beings, so maybe it's only the humans that are restricted to have to go there to interact with angels. Does it make sense? I think it makes sense. It's just a little complicated to think. This area has been closed for improvement to the infrastructure. It might be fenced off, but the fence isn't so strong, so I can't break it through. Yeah, so that's the reason. We are antisocial. We're just people that isn't happy with the current developments, and we demand a demon-free society, so we can select our future selves. Ugh, the perspective sucks here. So yes, Areza, you better cap some wicked weaves so you can destroy some environment later. I wish I could just continue to hold these things after dodging. They usually just are dropped for some reason. Come with me, we're outside. I somehow got a gold. I was thinking that I was bronze warting. He too thick, he cannot get out. Let us run. Purgatoria, center of the Trinity. Oh, finally I'm getting some... Well, is this going to answer all my questions? Because every single time I have like one question in my mind, I just get one of these notes that is like... Well, it makes sense. Maybe the developers were playing and were like, oh, Amelia, how do we explain this thing? How does this work? How is your master plan going to play out? Like, explain this to me. And he was like, yeah, I'm going to spare my wisdom by putting notebooks around the ground. One of the unique aspects of the religion in this town is the people's belief that the world is actually made up of 3 unique realms layered on top of each other: human world, inferno, and paradiso. The Trinity of Realities. Yeah, we have seen 2 so far. Even though the cavern that I was on before awfully looks like inferno. However, the wavelengths of the spirit energy in each of these realities is different, and the inhabitants of each are unable to interfere with the other's affairs, despite the fact that the worlds are layered. Layered? It is said that the Lumen Sages and Umbra Witches had the unique ability to pass onto a realm known as Purgatorio and travel amongst the Trinity. It is believed that the witches and sages each may contrast with the masters of light and dark worlds, and can use special abilities granted to them by their masters. Underlying all this, though, is the presence of the Trinity of Realities. Even during the witches' hunts, it seems the suspected of being witches were lured into Purgatorio, an act the people called being spirit away. And the presence is in the no man's lands was used as justification for future acts of persecution. To further explain Purgatorio, one must understand that those within the realm are unable to see or touch those in the human world, nor are the humans in their own world able to intervene in the affairs of Purgatorio. Moreover, what we identify as material objects might have different appearances in different realities. Yet, when these items are destroyed in one world, they will be destroyed in all worlds. This might explain why many places religious interpretations upon the phenomenon of unexplained destruction that occurs during their everyday lives. So they think that if something is just broken in the real world, well, the human world, it's because some demon or an angel just stumbled upon it and destroyed it by accident. Also, isn't that a little bit too freaking concerning? I mean, imagine this. This is a pencil, right? Imagine that I have a witch here. And it's my friend or something, and she's just in Purgatorio, and I am just talking and stuff, and then I do this. And here I was there. And I just did this motion, and I just accidentally stabbed my friend in the eye. It is very freaking concerning. I mean, doesn't seem to be any rules on which objects can be like in both places at once. But I believe there is like some really concerning implications, since, you know, it didn't really specify any of that. I don't have any reason to go here, except that I may be able to buy some techniques. So think about that. Imagine Bayonetta just swinging her sword around, but this is a magic sword, so maybe it doesn't matter. Huh.
I'm here for business or pleasure. Either way, I'll hook
But
you up.
that is also a contradiction, because at the beginning of the game... Oh, yeah. New technique. Ground within and bat within. Oh, it was a butterfly, only in the case of John the Ark. I'm going to get the elegances after I get Umbra Spear, huh? After I get the butterflies. I need more techniques, you can say, for my survival, rather than just prioritizing having cut ears. That might be your concern, but for me it's not. So it's very probable that at the beginning of the game she doesn't... Yeah, but that doesn't make sense to me. I mean, if she can interact with objects, regardless if they are in heaven or hell, or no, I mean purgatory or human world, then why did she did the circle at the beginning to receive the guns? It doesn't mean that they both exist in both places and they will hurt the angels regardless? I don't know, I'm just trying to make sense of something that maybe they didn't put that much time thinking into. But this game, like again, has a lot of details, so I will be surprised if they just neglected that one detail. There's a heavy lithograph here, it depicts the seal of the sun. Well, if I just can draw a circle and lines coming from it, yeah, anything can be a sun. It is an explanation about the portal-like object. Puerta del Paradiso. Puerta del Paradiso? A gateway to heaven. The Lumen seems to have constructed it to correspond with the denizens of Paradiso. And again, they don't seem to be very fond of the witches. The witch statue has been cruelly disfigured. There are signs of an act that the act was carried out by unnatural means. Like, what makes you think that it was just not some kind of sledgehammer or something? Nah. The figure seems to be watching over their gate. Perhaps it was meant to replace the Lumen sages? And we are back in Paradiso. Are you happy to be here? You shouldn't be. Look! The denizens of Paradiso are much nicer to the status of heaven.
This is probably how you got lost to begin with.
Not the status, okay. The status of the Umbra. See, they don't they respect us.
Mommy.
Don't worry. It's always scary the first time you see them.
See? She agrees.
Where was I?
Inexperience leads to be scared. A scare leads to bad stuff.
I do hope you've prepared dessert as well.
Well, in this case, we are murdering them because if we don't, then we go to hell and we are angering our friends. You are giving a girl permanent trauma, you know that? Well, it's not like you have a choice, you know?
Oh, what a lovely tea party. And dancing, too. Cereza, my dear, watch and learn.
Certainly, I think it's a good thing that you are trying to make the kid into a murderous weapon. It's going to totally work out. I'm not even being sarcastic here. You are such a nice mommy. Yeah, well, no, you're not using the freaking laser with me. Behave. Oh, freaking claw. Is that the one thing that manages to freaking hurt me here? A freaking claw? Really? Well, I'll work with that. More? Alright, the giant angel by the door there is still watching over us. Well, it's going to take a few seconds. So, every single realm seems to share some stuff, but not everything. Since, you know, we don't have the instructions here about the portal. And the Umbra... The statue seems to speak the Umbra Witch. It remains here and destroy. Yeah. See? It's different between realities. But Purgatorio maybe seems to... Purgatorio might be, you know, how they interact, but... So if I get into Purgatorio from here, will it be looking like heaven? And also weird, they have some light post here. Oh, it's raining meteors now. Oh, nice. Oh, this freaking guy, I hate him. Oh no, he's a priest. Oh no, he's a priest. No, 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 fuck off. Of course it had to be... Okay, were you hiding that there, or...? I wanted to dodge, but my reflexes weren't quick enough. Oh no, fuck off. Let the kid alone. Yeah, I'm going to enjoy this way too much. Yeah, no. No, 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 no. But yeah, I mean, totally just, he's dead. And no, stay away. You too, stay away. Fat fishing pervert. Now, this segment is always confusing for me on how to act because, well, let's say that I usually use Beast Within and I feel like it's way too fast for the game and usually get hurt. So I feel like I should try to use the human form. I say as I'm almost out of juice. I'm about to die. Come on, Cereza, cannot you see the giant halo on her head? A copycat to the end, huh? I keep forgetting that this game might be difficult to other people to play for different reasons than mine. Tell your... Fuck this. No! Goodbye monetization forever. Of course, it was called Joy. Can you see how joyful she is? And she will be more enjoyable after she's, well, satisfied. So, yeah, apparently Paradiso has casually used a supply of angels that totally resemble Bayonetta in every single way you can think of. And they're freaking hard to combat. I just been very freaking lucky to kill them as soon as they spawn, because, well, they have the ability to multiply and not kill them. It's one of the most annoying things to ever exist. And apparently they follow Bayonetta to a T, even where her poses some mannerisms and wants. Les Patineers Waltz. OP183. I don't know what the frick means, but I think it has something to do with patines, which means, you know, the shoes you use for... All the pieces fit together. And now I have a new LP, which means that I have the ability to go somewhere. The Angels Banquet Hall of Fame. Huh? Beery has long held the notion that... wait, this is chapter 6, right? Yeah, there is only one Elfame, and there is no secret purses, so I didn't miss anything. I was so stupid not to look at my notebook more often. Beery has long held the notion that the world is comprised of a trinity of realities. Paradiso, Inferno, and the human realm. World. We discussed this just a moment ago. However, since the era of the witch hunts, where the Umbra witches were met with total annihilation, the Big Vidians have held that Paradiso, the world of light, is the most perfect of these realms and have worshipped it as such. I mean, perfect is not a nice way to put it when there is angels that are in love with a kid and another angel that has the ability to copy you and then just slice you in half and kidnap you for some reason that I don't know. Yet, as normal human beings are unable to experience this heaven, the Vigridians' feeling regarding Paradiso manifest themselves in various ways. Even the portal, the Paradiso ruin, of which remains to this day, were born of this fate and placed around the city as an act of Paradiso worship. These structures, stone discs 3 meters in diameter, were said to represent portals into Paradiso itself. Well, yeah, it didn't work. No. It's not like we have any way to know, but I don't think they work. It was believed that when the gods extended the people a helping hand, they would do so via the portals, guiding them to Paradiso. Thus, the portals were placed in spiritually powerful locations. I have one more interesting aside. Within Paradiso, there are said to be secret rooms known as Alphames, where angels gather to hold their banquets. Well, my banquet is their dead, apparently. The portals of Paradiso created by a man are said to be mimics are said to mimic the entrances to these Alphames. Legend has it that if someone were to stumble across one of these portals while in Purgatorio, they might enter an Elfame, upon which the angels will entertain the lost visitor and bless them justly. Yeah, I don't think they truly appreciate my skills when I go there. They usually just try to, you know, kill me, which I don't really blame them for doing, since I usually just take their heads often and, you know, do a lot of harm. there anything secret here that I don't remember? Nope. But there is a couple of horses statues here. With a sun and a moon. Yeah, always so subtle. A pair of statues depicting the sun and the moon. It seems to have been made in worship of the Lumen Sages and Umbral Witches. It's a wonder that this one statue is not destroyed. You know, they've been always destroying and... Of course it has to be Christians. Priests. Priests. This. Sorry. Yeah, too many jokes, sorry. And another. And I don't want to see that statue. Why? Give them diapers. As part of the eatable group plans for the future development of E-Grid, the man-made island of Isla del Sol, a new urban center, was constructed and outfitted with a new highway, stretching a total of 41,295 kilometers. I refuse to read the American unit. As expected, traveling this highway, which linked the major areas of Big Creek to the island, requires vigorous checks, and its usefulness is limited to by Gridian authorities. Eatable group materials transports a select group of authorized personnel. So they have a freaking huge highway and they expect to be able to police it all. The bridge connecting the island to the mainland is enormous. The bridge connecting the island to the mainland is an enormous oversea suspension bridge that I don't know where it's suspending because it's in the middle of the freaking ocean. The structure supporting the bridge wires are shaped like the bright solar flares that shot out from the sun's surface, giving the crossing its name. Prominence Bridge. It is truly a symbol of the modernity that has come to Big Red. But yeah, a freaking bridge just to connect the mainland to an island. We only just... It's such a weird thing to happen to.
Mommy? You're a mom? You?
Come now, Cheshire. Look at me. Do I look like I have any interest in children? Now making them, well, that's another story.
God.
Whoa! You're getting the wrong idea. I mean, it might be the right idea, but not right now, right?
You accused here of killing your father and you're thinking about procreation, right?
Waiting for you, because I knew we'd cross paths. See, the only way to reach the upper crust in their gated island of champagne wishes and caviar dreams is over Prominence Bridge.
Oh, yes. The island. Lovely place, isn't it? Oh, now what?
Don't play games with me. You've worked your magic on this poor defenseless child, haven't you? You're a sad, sick woman. You know that? I was her age when you killed my father. Wait. No. You couldn't. Oh my god, you did, didn't you?
What?
You killed her parents!
Oh yeah, because we are over the world going around making Batmans.
Come to think of it, she's better off with you. You two are more hassle than you're worth.
What?
Just keep a good eye on her, or you're going to catch hell for it. No good deed goes unpunished, and you never know when a monster may sneak up on you.
Mummy, look out!
Run the fuck out and use your stupid wires to somehow just cling to the sky and He's a special man, okay? But that was a pretty long chapter. I think I deserve a rest. I didn't do half bad, yeah? And we got that gold statue. With the likes of Rodan. But with all these halos and rewards, I think I have more than enough to, make myself a little bit of a nice gift in the form of a new technique. And the delicate butterflies, like I said, they are super cool because, well, if you mess up by a second or something, then you have the assurance that that half second of a fuck up is going not to be against you, but in your favor, because you still will, which time, dodge. It's basically an extended window of dodging. That's how I see it. And now I'm going to directly go into a tornado. It's another of those very short episodes, so I'm going to leave it for next time. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to my freaking quiz runs. But I think I did make sense then. Usually I don't make sense, do I? No, I always make sense. Yeah. Goodbye. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day, night, wherever, end of the world, new world. Maybe it's the birth of a new freaking universe and you have somehow the ability to access the YouTube servers. Maybe this reality is just a construction from some kind of advanced civilization that is seeing us history somehow recreating everything from scratch, and then having us using it enact the world as it was constructed before. No, I don't always make sense. But so my friends, bye!